think Chinese stocks are facing two near-term risks. One is that the number of stocks that are rising in prices, the number is rapidly declining relative to stocks that are falling in prices. So historically, this has always led to a price correction or even major setbacks. This relationship has broken down since November last year. Stock prices kept rising, and the breadth of the rally actually has been rapidly narrowing. So I think Chinese stocks are due for a correction, near-term correction. I think the risks are at least accumulating. And second risk I see is that Chinese stocks are priced to perfection with earnings multiple expanding at much faster rate than earnings growth. Admittedly, that is a global phenomenon, but the difference is that while other countries, other major economies and central banks are still keeping their policies very accommodative and still rolling out stimulus, in China, policymakers have made very explicitly that they are going to normalize policy, which we have seen policy rates have been normalizing since second half of the year. So, the bottom line is Chinese stocks are very sensitive to any changes in the liquidity conditions.
Yeah, and that is a bit of a worry. I understand that, Jing. But what could trigger the markets on the downside, and how significant could the pullback be?
I think the number one risk definitely is policy too. And the market now, I think, has priced in a lot of almost all good news, and are not they are a bit complacent about policies, and even up to 2 weeks ago, they were talking about loosening of liquidity. Now, if you look at historical data, the PBOC has never really, loosened monetary policy when the economy is on upward trend. So I think the market will soon realize that PBOC is not shifting their policy stance, and then on top of that, they're going to realize that when the policy environment tightens, monetary conditions tighten, and the economic growth is going to peak at some point, and profit growth is going to peak at some point. And we estimate will probably be around sometime mid of this year. So I think once market price that in, then I think there will be some price corrections.
Jing, if indeed that correction does arrive in the China markets, what are you waiting to buy on the downside?
Now, we are structurally bullish on semiconductors in stocks. So we are long semis, and we are also still constructive on consumer discretionaries, onshore market. And also, I think some of the green energy stocks, if they're priced right, so I think we will